Hello, everybody. I am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Caster, and this is the Neoncaster Twitch channel. Good afternoon, everybody. We once again have more duels afoot, more decks to be shuffled, and another tabletop twilight. This time with a special returning guest, Sheela, Ornthalas of the Come and Go Tavern.
Hello, everybody. I am excited to be back here today. We are going to have a whole lot of fun. First competing against each other for a little bit, and then working together and kind of teaching each other a little bit about our formats.
Yes. Rivals into allies, like any good anime. But for the people who do not know about you and your work, why don't you go and introduce yourself?
Fair enough. So, hello, weary travelers. My name is Sheela Ornthalas. I am usually the hostess over at the Come and Go Tavern, a full-service tavern, if you catch my drift, over in the world of Vania, and we do a lot of tabletop and adjacent sort of games. So think grid-based tactics, grid-based strategy, usually fantasy. We add a little bit of sci-fi here and there. But it's a lot of that sort of stuff, and I do a lot of talking about how tactics relate to puzzle games and how I kind of jive those two together, as well as if it's got a particularly poignant or political plotline. I am more than willing to discuss that on stream. Looking at you, Triangle Strategy, and your discussion of how misinformation creates issues between different countries, even when everybody has the best options available in front of them. So anyway, sorry, tangent.
No, absolutely. If you haven't tuned in to Ms. Ornthalas' streams previously, I definitely recommend the run of the Wintermore Tactics Club. That game is too cute.
Oh my goodness, it was. And it absolutely laid bare a lot of the issues that we in the tabletop gaming industry have had to deal with for decades. And the fact that, like, we keep, parts of the community keep trying to make our world a better place, and parts of them are just stuck in the 1970s when it was very homogenous and not very many people were into it. But, it is what it is.
But your tactics knowledge and my deck building knowledge will hopefully come into perfect harmony once again as we play the second game of today, Floppy Nights. But our first game of today, we are getting into part of the Identity Digital VTuber Netrunner tournament, which I have done a number of games recorded on, 4 so far. We have another 4 to go. This is the 5th one of 8. They have been going mixed, I will say for myself.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I've had a few games that went particularly well, but be 1 out of every 2 tops.
I will sometimes win one of the 2 matches and then otherwise get my booty bopped live on stream. But it's fun to go and play a game that was actually quite nostalgic to me, because even though I am not so old, the 2 have played the original Wizards of the Coast one that uses a whole bunch of Shadowrun lore in it. I did play the Fantasy Flight Games version from when it was new, and got back into it again when it turned out there was a VTuber community who were all pretty enthusiastic about the game. But this new version by Null Signal Games is where you kind of picked it up, as I understand.
Yes, I've been kind of tangentially aware of Netrunner for a very long time, because I used to be a very active Magic the Gathering player, and Netrunner and oh goodness, what's the one? It takes place in Rokugan.
Legend of the Five Rings?
Legend of the Five Rings. I was it's 5 something, but I've been hanging around with Maru too much recently, and so the 5-star stories is what was coming to mind, which would be a very different game. But so it basically just hanging around in the same kind of card shops that Magic players are in was always Netrunner and Legend of the Five Rings and Call of Cthulhu, or not Call of Cthulhu, Arkham Horror, all the other FFG things. But I never got into it until actually, I believe it was you who brought up the fact that Null Signal was continuing on where FFG left off.
Yes.
And that kind of made me realize, oh, wait, I can just get these things now. I have adult money. I can play this game.
Yeah, no, they were at, because I don't know where in the world the kind of like the progenitors were, but a decent number of the people who were keeping it running are UK based. So they were at a UK Games Expo last year, to which my operator did a haul stream, having kind of come from that, and interviewed a whole bunch of people who were at that, and they were kind of talking about how they were bringing things back, which also got me back into being interested in the card game again. I am, however, it is a very I think quite difficult game to play. Of all the card games that exist, this one is so very specifically predicated on how good both your deck building and playing skills are, and if one of them is insufficient, trying to win matches actually is quite difficult. But it does mean for people who are hungry for a challenge, if you are the kind of person who's been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh and feel that matches are all kind of going a very similar way a lot of the time, or you find that the deck building in Pokemon is too easy, this is a game for you to go and see how difficult those things could potentially be. But I am
and they can be potentially difficult.
but I'm absolutely in it for the theming. Basically,
100%.
every named character in it, whether they're good or evil, is POC and queer, which is great.
Love to see that.
These new artists have really settled into actually kind of getting a really quite attractive art direction. Some of the early null signal cards are struggle bus territory, but hey, it's a profitless project. They're doing their best.
Well, on top of that, didn't they recently say they were going to be redoing some of the original releases?
For the longest time, they were like, nah, fuck that. So interesting that they changed their tune on
I
that.
think it happened around the time that they did a name change, and they're now kind of like trying to step even further away from FFG's stuff so that they can be a little more on solid ground, shall we say?
Functionally independent. FFG have been, because they operate themselves as a business more than a games company. They have been really litigious about people doing actual plays using Genesis and Edge of the Empire for a while.
Which is weird considering how much that's what supports games these days.
Well, I think the idea was like, because Star Wars is an IP that is owned by Disney, we're going to be really litigious about it. Genesis doesn't have an IP attached to it. Why are you trying to shut down those shows as well? Skyjacks, the actual play podcast I'm on, we're genuinely switching to an original system just so we don't get thrown in tabletop jail for whatever that counts. Very strange.
Odd times.
I didn't know that you were Magic the Gathering was where you kind of cut your teeth. What's your deck archetype of choice? What are your colors?
Okay, so this is going to show my age. I played Magic from its inception.
Wow.
And so when you ask what my colors are, and I respond colorless. I want you to understand the full ramifications of that.
Wow, fuck Tron. I understand.
Yes. I have my classic, what people started to think of as my archetypical deck, was very much that, like classic Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like Game Boy Advance games, where there was always that one NPC who was an enormous challenge when you had a limited card set, but like once you started understanding how things worked, they were easy to get past. That was me in our group, because my Urza deck was designed to be a massive snowballing turtle. If you could beat me before the turtle went off, easy enough.
But if you let it get, you have 5 turns, 4 turns.
You're not wrong, because I had 2 specific combos that basically made the game unwinnable for the other person. I could either suddenly make all of my creatures infinite flying, indestructible first strikers, protection red, protection black, or I could field wipe every turn for 1 mana. But not my side. Only your side.
One-sided,
including your lands.
God, disgusting. Follow-up question: Have you looked at any of the Brothers War set that was recently out? Because a lot of it is callbacks to that kind of era of card design, less power crept, but.
I was very excited for that. I was actually considering picking some cards up for the first time in almost 10 years. And then Wizards of the Coast shit the bed, for lack of a nicer term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have really not done themselves any favors recently, have they?
True, true. Well, we can always play on Tabletop Simulator.
All true.
Which is usually I've been playing Commander with other people as of late, even though I have a bunch of physical decks that I am chomping at the bit to play other people with. Most of my Magic playing has been on TTS because there's a really good system for that. May have to actually, I haven't done a proper Magic the Gathering like playing it stream yet, so I may have to go and do that at some point soon.
Well, I will admit I'm less familiar with the Commander format because when things like Brick format and Commander started to become a thing is about the time when I started to drift out of the game.
Ah, for sure. Well, yeah. I mean, a thing that I've been meaning to do is to do a stream being like, let's build a Commander deck together and kind of go through the process of what is involved. So maybe we can do that as a part A and then a part B stream down the line where we go and play with some people. Also, hi, Captain. Hello. Gosh, many people from the upcoming project are here. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm really excited to get that project going. But
we'll definitely go and talk a bit more about that project maybe later on the stream. But for now, would you like to be Corp or Runner first, Sheela?
You know what? Let's try to get my Corp game out of the way because, again, turtle decks are my specialty. So,
all right. So I have to do Runner startup. We're allowing spectators. We're not doing password protection. We will create the thing. The thing is created. How you doing, Captain Comic Geek? I hope you're having a delightful afternoon. So if you go to the tournament tab under play on Jinteki, I should be chilling there.
There you are.
Hi. Go and selecting my deck, blending in. Yes, you can't currently see Wagwan well until we go and get bits and pieces sorted out. You'll be getting game footage in a little bit, chat. Don't worry. It would be nice if it actually let me select my deck though. That'd be good. Ooh, you might have to select yours as well.
I thought I already had.
Is it trying to be annoying? Good, started us. Oh, hold on. Even though it's saying startup legal, I wonder if it's if things have changed, but some UI elements haven't. Let me remake this room. Sorry about that.
Sure.
We're gonna set up a new game, and we're gonna set it to casual this time, and then hopefully that should work. Because then we can select any deck. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. So they have reselected the rule set of what is legal, what isn't, and it just hasn't updated the UI. This website is free. Okay. Yep. Shift into game footage. And then I can actually extend a little bit of the crop of this now. So that should be fine. Okay. And then I need to get the jams going. Okay, we have the jams. And now I need to choose what my starting hand is like.
Yes, I am going to go ahead and mulligan. I'm either going to regret this or it's going to be perfect.
I actually adore my opening hand. I'm going to keep it. And then we will also summon the little zoomed in window that gives card info. So we can see what your ID is.
Okay. So I have one of the more complex IDs in the game, Earth Station. It starts off as C headquarters, which limits me to one remote server. As an additional cost to run HQ, the runner must pay 1 credit, and I can use a click to flip this identity. We will get to what that means.
What it means on the other side. Yeah. But you can only have one remote server, huh? So you I mean,
we're skinny but deep.
It definitely means that your options on where your scoring server is pretty restricted. But Wayland is also good at just killing me, so
also true. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to place this in a new remote. I am going to hedge fund,
Oh, get that cash money.
and then I'm going to place this on the remote server. And end my turn.
Well, we're going to start this turn. I see your hedge fund turning 5 money into 9, and I will do the same. Using Sure Gamble, my equivalent of that card. Then we will install Telework Contract, which is a resource that puts money on it, and then for 1 click I can take some money off. For my 3rd click, I used to play Anarch when I started playing Netrunner, so I am not scared of making runs with no equipment. So I'm gonna go and make a run on server 1. What's in there?
Okay. We're going to go ahead and res Ice Wall.
I am rebuffed! Oh no! The subroutines fire and I am bounced. I will continue to enter the ice. I let the unbroken routine sub fire and then I get kicked out. There we go.
Yes,
Cool.
there we go.
And I have 1 click left, which I will spend. Let's also make a run on your R&D, please.
Well, I can't do anything about that, so I suppose I have to let it happen.
And your top card is...
Sure is a card.
Cool, I'll take that. Thank you. It is Transport
darn.
Monopoly for 2 victory points. I
Okay,
end my
okay.
turn.
All right. Before I start my turn, I'm going to go ahead and res wall to wall.
Ooh, what does this card do?
It gives me the ability to do a few things. When my turn begins, if you have any other res assets, resolve 1 of the following. Otherwise, resolve up to 3 of them. Well, wouldn't you look at that? I can only have 1 server. So I get to resolve 3 of them. I'm going to gain a credit, draw a card, and place an advancement token on Ice Wall.
I see. Getting your that server big very, very early.
So let's see. And all of that before I, use my first click.
The efficiency is unreal.
I am going to use Extract. I am not going to trash a card to get its secondary effect.
But turning 3 into 6, pretty good.
Especially when I then use my second click to Government Subsidy.
Ooh!
And turn 3 into a lot more than that. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, let's go ahead and place this on server 1 as well and end the turn.
Putting up some big walls, I understand. For my first click, I will gain 3 money. For my second click, I will draw a card. Okay, interesting. What would I want to do? Sure. Okay. We are going to, for this click, play Into the Depths for 1. I run on any server. If successful, each time I pass an ISIS run, resolve 1 of the following. Oh gosh, I didn't read that correctly, but I can step back from that. I think
I was going to say, would you like to undo that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me slash undo click. Cool.
And then you can just drag that back to your hand from the play area, I believe.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
to play my hand early, me overthinking what I can actually do available on my turn. It's been a second since I used this deck. Clearly, what we will instead do is just make another run on R&D and see what's up.
Sure. Still can't do anything about it, so there you go.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No action.
Okay.
I have 1 click remaining.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna draw a card. Marvelous.
Always a good
End
idea.
turn.
All right, so start of the turn. Let's go ahead and gain a credit.
Mm-hmm.
Draw a card. And then we'll place an advancement token. Let's put it there.
All of your ice being advanceable, huh?
Perhaps.
Hey, it's one of Wayland's signature ice gimmicks, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and put this on R&D.
Ooh. Getting locked up.
Let's go ahead and put this on server 1.
Mm-hmm. An upgrade rather than installing over it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Let's see. Interesting. Okay, you know what? We've got 1 click left.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and draw with that.
Sure.
And end the turn.
We will start the turn. We will click telework contract for some money and draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We are going to do something a little risky.
All right.
We're going to install Chameleon, naming Codegate. Chameleon is an interesting card. Most icebreakers have a specific type of thing that it likes to break. Chameleon doesn't have one, you get to choose, but it goes back to your hand at end of turn.
Sure.
Then we're going to go and make a run on R&D.
Let's see. Why not? Let's go ahead and res Arquette.
Sure thing. Now, even though the Arquette is a barrier ice, my runner, Riel Peddler, has the ability the first time each turn you encounter a piece of ice, it gains Codegate for the remainder of the run. So
Sure does.
Yeah, it is something that I can break through. You can advance this ice. It's not advanced. It has 2 subroutines. Gain 1 money and place an advancement token and end the run. I'm going to choose to encounter that ice. And
Sounds
I am
good.
going to spend 2 credits to fully break a cat using Chameleon.
Alrighty. You can continue on to movement then.
I will
No
breach
further
that
actions.
server and see what that card do. Okay. And so my turn ends and Chameleon returns to my hand.
Well, there we go. Let's go ahead and start the turn. I am going to gain 1 credit. Let's see, what is... Yeah, let's go ahead and place an advancement token on a piece of ice. And then I'm going to add wall to wall back to my HQ.
Ooh.
So, first click of the turn, let's go ahead and play this in server 1. And then we're going to hedge fund.
For big money. Is that a San City grid that's about to appear?
And let's advance this and end the turn.
Okay. First up, we're going to go click telework contracts for 3 money. then we're going to use that 3 money to install Daily Casts.
Sure thing. Ooh, I love this card.
Oh, so good. Introduced at the same time as my favorite runner. Who is a streamer, so that turned out pretty straightforwardly. But this was before streaming was a thing for me, so you know, it's how it go. Let's see here. We are going to... We're going to install Chameleon calling Code Gate.
Okay.
We are going to play Into the Depths now and make a run on R&D.
Fair enough. I can't really do anything there, so I guess you can continue to encounter.
Counter that ice, and then I will fully break a cat.
Continued movement and no further actions.
We'll breach that server. What I'm going to go and do as a result of Into the Depths is install a program from my deck. Now, what do I want to install? We are going to install Gordian Blade.
Oof. Okay. Okay.
I now have a much more consistent way of breaking code gates without having to use Chameleon.
Yeah, that'll save you some actions and some money every turn.
I access your top card and end my turn, returning Chameleon to my hand.
All right, let's go ahead and start the turn. Let's go ahead and just do some subliminal messaging.
Yes, indeed.
Which gives me a click back since it was the first thing that got played this turn. Let's go ahead and advance this.
Ooh.
And then we are going to seamless launch the same thing and score Transport Monopoly, bringing us to 2 and 2.
When you score this agenda, place 2 agenda counters on it. Remove a hosted agenda counter. This run could not be declared successful. Use this ability only once per turn. Oh, that's fun.
And then I am going to place this in server 1 and end the turn.
You got things going. All right.
Starting to gain a little bit of that momentum.
You are definitely Transport Monopoly. Yeah, no, these cards are definitely it's a card you don't see very often. Oh, I see it's on you. You are a Netrunner player. I see and I understand. Please bear in mind that I am very bad. Please do not bully me for my misplays.
Same thing.
I'm going to draw a card for my first turn. And for my second click. Sure. This may be a general building up momentum run. So we're going to play 2 to install Cyber Trooper Talent and click for a credit, and then I end my turn.
Sounds good. Before beginning my turn, I'm going to go ahead and res wall to wall. We are going to gain that credit. Place 1 advancement token. Go ahead and put it there. And then let's draw a card. I'm also then going to return subliminal messaging from archives to HQ.
Because I didn't make a run.
Play it again. Let's see. What can we do? What can we do? I'm going to put this on R&D for my first actual click.
Oh.
Let's draw a
build up
card.
them defenses.
And then let's go ahead and place this on HQ.
I see.
And end the turn.
Okay, let's start this turn. Let's draw a card. Sure. Now, do I feel... How strong was this? Unupgraded. Okay. Alright. We are gonna make a run on HQ. I mean, you don't have to res it.
I don't have to, but I think I'm going to.
Ooh, it's big!
Oh, he big.
Alright, the runner can spend a click to break any subroutine on this ice. Each time they do, increase...
So you can give me more actions if you want.
That's really funny and miserable, I see. So
I
no
have not
matter
updated this card. It should do to core damage now, because we no longer use that term.
True. So this... I can't get away with not having one of these things happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Sure. We're going to encounter that ice.
Okay.
I'm going to lose a click to break a subroutine. Breaking end the run. And then I'm also going to break the trash and installed runner card.
Sure thing.
And I will let the remaining subroutines fire and take 2 core damage.
Okay.
Sure. My hand size was quite high, so lowering my maximum hand size was not really a huge deal. We're going to continue to movement. I will breach that server and pray.
Yep, no further actions.
Aha! I see. No action. That was a bad turn for me. I end my turn. I discard down to 3 cards. You go away.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start the turn. I am going to gain 1, place 1 advancement token, and then return wall to wall to my HQ. So let's go ahead and... Ooh. Let's place this in server 1.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, that's right. I have extra clicks this turn.
You do have extra clicks this turn.
Okay. Okay. So let's draw a card. Let's go ahead and flip Earth Station to Ascending to Orbit.
Ooh.
And now we can talk about what this does. As an additional cost to run a remote server, the runner must pay 6 credits. When the runner makes a successful run against HQ, this flips back over to its other side.
And making a successful run on HQ is very difficult because you have some very powerful ice that's in the way. This makes a lot of sense. Very cool.
Indeed it is. So I'm going to gain a credit.
I might be walled pretty badly here. I don't think I have much momentum to catch up with this now.
Actually, would you mind if I undid that click?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's undo click. Yes. Boop. Okay. Instead, I would like to advance this and then use a seamless launch.
Because it was something that was installed the turn before.
It was not. I have messed myself up.
Do you want to take that one back as well?
Yes, I will go ahead and take that one. Okay, so that slows me down a little bit. but that's fine.
You're good. I don't think I'm going to be walking into that server anyway.
I will, in fact, gain a credit.
Sure.
And end my turn.
I guess you pull that back into your hand.
Yes, I should do that, shouldn't I? There we are.
We're going to start turn and draw a card. Sure. We're going to pay 1 to install a telework contract and click on it for 3 money. How much do I care about you gaining an additional credit next turn? We are going to spend a click to install Paul's Cafe. And then I end my turn.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start the turn. Returning subliminal messaging. Do the mandatory draw. Ooh, okay, so let's subliminal message, and then let's hedge fund. Okay. Let's see, we've still got that in place. We've got that in place. Let's go ahead and now we can seamless launch.
Indeed you can.
And just to back ourselves up, let's go ahead and... I know this is not the normal place you would want to do this, but we'll res Kayambe Grid.
Purchase a server unless they pay 2 for each piece of his server ice. And also, even if I did attempt to run it, you can stop me from doing that twice because of the way that... Right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. You have a pretty good lock going here.
Yes.
All right. We are going to spend my first click getting 3 money from telework contract. Then we are going to... What is this? Okay. For the next click, we're going to be installing Chameleon Calling Barrier.
Sure thing.
Then we're going to go and make a run on R&D.
Okie dokie. We'll go ahead and res Tithe.
Oh, it is a sentry. For 1 net damage, gain 1 money. We're going to encounter that ice. We are going to use Gordian Blade to break 1 code gate subroutine. We're breaking the do 1 net damage. Do I care about spending the additional to give you 1 extra credit? No. We're going to let those unbroken subroutines fire.
Sounds good to me.
We're going to continue to movement.
Sure thing.
To Arquette. We will approach that ice, encounter that ice, so many steps. We're going to spend Chameleon to fully break Arquette.
Okay. Continue to movement. No further actions.
I will breach that server. Sure thing. I will then draw a card.
Sounds good.
I end my turn.
So, before my turn begins, I am going to res Clearinghouse.
You may trash this asset to do 1 meat damage for each hosted... so it's a good thing that Chameleon goes back to my hand, because that puts me to 0 cards, not -1.
Yes, it does. So I am going to, in fact, do that meat damage now. And do my mandatory draw.
Now, if you have any way of dealing me damage, you win.
Big if.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Wayland card that said if the runner made a successful run last turn, deal 1 damage. But I guess it's more of a Junteki thing. It depends whether it's meat or net, I suppose.
Yeah. Where do I want to put this? Let's just go ahead and put this on R&D.
Oh.
And we've got one left. Let's go ahead and advance that. And into the turn.
All right, we're going to start the turn. Start the turn 9 with 6 money and no cards. I'm going to draw a card. And another one. Sure. Install
like this card.
DZMZ Optimizer. Draw a card. And then I end my turn.
Okay.
I did not make a run this turn, so you do get subliminal messaging back.
Well, I'll put another thing there, and then get subliminal messaging back. Well, we're going to go ahead and play subliminal messaging. And then let's gain a credit. And then advance. End of the turn.
Back up to 3 again. Yes, having taken that core damage makes that very dangerous if you have more than one of those.
Indeed it does.
I'm gonna draw 2 cards. I'm so sad. Okay, we're going to spend a click to withdraw some money off telework contract, breaking it. Draw a card. Sure. End turn. Discard down to 3. You go, and you go. Yours.
Okey-dokey. Go ahead and start the turn. Ooh, let's see. We'll place that there, and then return the subliminal messaging. Excellent. Play subliminal messaging. Let's go ahead and advance.
Oh, scoring it.
Score. Send a message. And we're going to go ahead and res Colossus for free.
You can advance this ice. It is +1 strength for each of the hosted advancement tokens, so it is now currently strength 7. It has give the runner 1 tag. If there are 3 or more, give 2 tags. Trash an installed program if there are 3 or more hosted advantages. Trash 1 installed program and 1 installed resource. Otherwise, it's big. I see. Okay.
It big. And then last thing, I will install a card on server 1, and we will go in turn.
Right. I will start my turn. All you just need to do is score a 2-pointer, and you're in there.
I definitely just put that wall-to-wall back in server 1. You've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. I don't know why you'd stall the game out that bad. We're going to draw a card. We're going to gain a credit. I maybe didn't do this in a sensible order, but that's fine. We're going to install
You can
boat.
do clicks.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Going to install boat.
Boat.
Sad.
You just remember the effect of my HQ.
No, it's not even that. I'm not worried
Oh,
about
okay.
trying to run on that. I know I can't. Because even if I did actually try and walk through that, you would just say the run is not successful. So I would have no choice. It's more just kind of like, my economy is not where I would personally like it right now, and these are the lives we now have to lead. What I will do is draw a card for my last click and end my turn, getting rid of Gordian Blade. Yours.
Okay, start of the turn. Let's go ahead and place an advancement counter on that. Return subliminal messaging. Play subliminal messaging. Let's go ahead and advance. And then... Ooh, where do I want to... what am I going to do here? Let's just gain a credit. How about that?
Okay.
And end of the turn.
We're going to start a turn. I'm going to do this first. We're going to go make a run on... We're going to make a run on HQ.
Okay.
We're going to continue to encounter that ice.
Sure thing.
And I am going to use endurance to break 2 of the 3 subroutines. And then spend a click to break the end of the run. We continue to movement.
Sounds good to me.
We'll
No
breach
further
the
actions.
server. Oh, lucky!
Yep, you did in fact get one of my cards.
Because I'm like, considering you can only have one, the likelihood of you having agendas in your hand as you naturally draw them is still quite high. We're gonna go and draw a card. Oh, sick. And then for my last click, we're gonna play Creative Commission and gain 5.
Nice.
If it'll let me. Oh, I have no money. I can't. I'm so sad. Miserable. This sucks. All right. I'm going to install a Parisia and then my turn.
Okay. Parisia. Okay, 2 recurring. Spend hosting credits to pay trash cost of assets. Interesting.
Not useful for your deck.
Still, something to have out on the field. I should also, at this point, mention the name of my deck is How Dare You Have Money. And that feels especially appropriate right now. Okay, so start of the turn, you did make a run this last time, so I don't get my subliminal messaging back. Let's see, what does this do? Okay. Not useful to me right now. Let's go ahead, and I think we're just gonna...
You're just gonna score this out.
Into the game and
yeah,
score
there we
it
go.
out. Yep.
All right, GG.
Good game.
On to the second.
Yes, I think that is the first time that this deck has really and truly worked as I intended it to work.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
We're gonna go make a new game. I am the corp this time. Oh, wait, did I... Cool.
Maybe.
This should be feasible for you to select it.
Nope, not letting me.
Okay, yeah, no, I accidentally set it to standard. That should be casual. I was like, standard probably has the cards that we're all using anyway, and it was like, no, I guess not.
Yeah. It's format war right
there
now.
we go. Right, give that a whirl.
There we go.
All right. My deck, you're our 1000th winner. And against Boat. Okay. Fucking hate Boat. It was genuinely a circumstance where, as I was building my deck, I was building it not aware of the new data pack at the time. And then very near to decks being locked in, I happened to go and realize that those were cards available to us. It's like, oh, I just have to put that card in my deck or my deck is just objectively worse. And that's bad. That's unfortunately a bad sign.
I wasn't thinking about it in those terms when I first built it. I was just thinking about that kind of thematic stuff that you briefly mentioned at the top, where I just loved the theming behind this. Because again, I like building my slow decks that build over time, and you know that concept of an icebreaker at the top of the world that just is slowly chipping away at both literal and figurative ice just fascinates me.
We are gonna install install over HQ. Install over R&D. Draw a card. Sure. End turn. My opening hand may or may not be dog shit.
Well, I'm also just looking at the ability of your identity and trying to figure out a way around it.
Well, it's actually one where you can kind of do whatever you want. The instances where you pay the money is usually pretty unavoidable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This time each run R&D begins. Yeah.
Okay, so let's gain a credit. And then we're going to play Hyperbaric. And then let's go ahead and run. Yeah, let's run R&D. That's going to activate my identity, Captain Padma Isbister's ability. First time each turn a run on R&D begins, you may charge one installed card. I am going to go ahead and put a counter on Hyperbaric.
Doubly charged. I will res pop-up window. Pay me some money, please.
Hello, pop-up window. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let those unbroken subroutines fire.
Sure. Do you want to go pay that one money?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Continue to movement.
Out of curiosity, does that...
I have no further actions.
So I lost one and you gained 2 out of that, technically.
Yes! Since I get an extra money from GameNet's effect.
Interesting.
You get something juicy?
Well, it's definitely something that informs me a little bit about your play circumstances. Okay, so last click of the turn, let's go ahead and gain a credit.
Makes
and
sense.
end the turn.
We're going to start turn and draw a card. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to make a new server. And then put a card in it. Oh, whoops.
Wrong server, I believe.
God damn it. We're gonna undo. Will that return it back to my hand?
It's fine. It sure is a Java website.
That's supposed to go into server 1, please. And then I will advance that once. You'll go. You've run into the boy before, I'm sure.
So let's go ahead and we're going to gain a credit. And then I'm going to draw. Neat. Let's go ahead and run R&D again.
Sure thing.
I'm going to further power up that Hyperbaric. Continue to encounter the ice.
We are encountering that ice.
I'm just going to let those unbroken subroutines fire.
We will fire them.
Paying the 1 and continuing to movement.
We will move to movement with no further actions.
Breach server.
Ooh, getting something juicy.
Something I rather you wouldn't be able to have, but I don't have a way to get rid of it.
So it
but
goes.
more importantly, that allows me to play Carmen for cheaper than I would have been able to otherwise.
It can break sentries.
And then I will end my turn.
Cool. We're gonna start the turn. I draw a card. It's a good card. We advance this twice and score it. Tomorrow's headline: when this agenda is scored or stolen, give the runner 1 tag.
There we go. Okay.
I can use tags to, you know, bully you and your resources, but you do not have resources right now. So what I will do instead is play hedge fund and gain some cash. And turn.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start the turn. Ooh, how much was it to get rid of tags? I think
It's 2 and a click.
2 and a click. Okay. So let's go ahead and okay, so let's gain credit. Why not? Let's do a third gain credit and remove that tag and end the turn.
Understood. We're going to start this turn. We are going to install into server 1.
Mm-hmm.
And advance this twice. End turn.
Okay, start the turn. Let's go ahead and gain a couple of credits. And then why not? Let's run server 1.
Sure thing. We're going to res Wraparound. Wraparound is a barrier, and while you don't have a barrier breaker, it gains 7 strength.
Ooh, okay.
It is entirely a tech check card.
Fair enough. I suppose I will have to let the unbroken subroutines fire.
Sorry.
It is what it is. Let's go ahead and use the last click to play Verbal Plasticity.
First time each run, you take the basic action to draw one card instead. That's good. That's very good. Start turn and draw a card. You got to use it before, so now I'm going to use it. Subliminal messaging. And then I'm going to advance this 3 times and score it. For Ballona gaining money. End turn.
Ooh, oof. Okay.
I'm
right.
very. It's unfortunate that you did not find boat or your barrier breaker first. Otherwise, this game would have gone very differently.
So the problem is with this deck is actually its economy. I have discovered. Like that's either I have to get my verbal plasticity out fast enough that I can get that card draw going, which gives me
Your
credit economy,
econs, yeah.
or I need to draw a whole bunch of economy at the start so that I don't have to worry about it and can focus on drawing. Hey,
Who knew that this is a game where you could get both mana flooded and mana starved?
You know, at the same time, it's ridiculous. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and draw. Okay. Let's gain a credit. You know, okay, yeah. Let's gain a credit twice, and then last click Creative Commission, so we can get a little bit more money and end the turn.
All right, let's draw a card. I will add subliminal messaging to HQ and plant. We are going to draw a card. Install in server 1. Install in server 1.
Ooh. Okay, we'll start the turn. First click draw. Let's see. Okay, second click play Cleaver.
Ah, the fractor.
Mm-hmm. And then let's go ahead and let's run server 1 again. Let's see what you're doing.
Okay. We are going to Res Tollbooth.
Oh, hello, Tollbooth.
When you encounter this ice, you have to pay 3.
Okay, well, there it is. I can't do anything from there.
I will fire those unbroken subroutines ending the run. I am now also poor, by the way, but it needed to be done. It always feels really rare when you're like, oh, I have the money to res the big ice. Goodness.
All right, so last thing, I'm going to play Stone Ship Chart Room and then trash it to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
End of my turn, I am then going to discard a card.
We're going to start the turn. You did make a run, so subliminal messaging does not go back to my hand. What I will do is advance this twice and then gain a credit, and then my turn.
Okay, so let's start the turn with a draw.
Ooh, resources.
Then I'm going to gain a credit. Yes, I do need to do this first. I'll gain another credit. And then it's not going to be the most efficient use of this. But let's go ahead and play Into the Depths. And I'm going to run R&D.
Okay.
So put a charge on Hyperbaric, continue to encounter the ice.
We will encounter that ice. Give me that sweet, sweet money. Are you letting that?
Yep. Either way, I'm going to lose a credit to that ability as it is. Which makes it a very frustrating ability, by the way.
Yeah, Pop-Up Window is like my this is one of the OG cards that they reprinted for...
Except I can stop you from getting more money. That's the important part here. So I'm actually going to see if I can break one of those subroutines. Yes, I can. Excellent. Using my Hyperbaric.
Nice.
So that I didn't lose money and you didn't gain money.
We continue to movement.
We are breaching the server.
No further actions.
Okay, I'm
so sorry if it's a Bologna.
I wish it was. I'm going to gain 4 credits. Okay.
All right.
And that's going to be the end of my turn. I'm going to have to discard down to 5. Let's get rid of that one.
Start of the turn, we draw a card. We are going to... I think I can close the match out here. We are going to advance this card twice and score it for 7.
And there it is. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much. This is the first time Wraparound has actually paid off. It's one of those cards that's so cheap to put down, but often people have a way of cheating to get the correct breaker out.
Yeah. It was, I really did hit that credit limit because I actually had my boat from the very beginning.
You just couldn't afford it.
I couldn't afford it, and this last turn was the first time I drew rigging up. So next turn I would have been able to play the rigging up, reduce the cost of the boat by 3, finally get it out, but it was already too little too late. So, yep.
Sorry to hear.
Yep.
But the general threat of the existence of boat arriving... called the Endurance for those who are not regular players, and they're like, why are they so obsessed about a singular boat? It will just walk through anything with fewer than 3 subroutines and is awful to deal with. I don't think my deck actually I think it has 1 piece of ice in it. that has more than 2 subroutines. So yeah, that was making my knees knock the entire time. Goodness. We got away with it.
You got away with it though. You know, it was just like I said. You know, sometimes that economy really gets you. And the fact that there are 2 economies in this to manage, both the ability to draw and the ability to gain money, since runner side doesn't automatically get to draw every turn.
No, it can be a bit of a knife edge. There's been many. Maybe I'm just not thinking right through in the same way that when you build a deck. I just realized on our chat screen, I did not have any background music playing for the entirety of the period of. That's fine. It's
goodness
fine.
gracious!
Whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
While we're actually doing gameplay, there was music, so it's fine. Yeah, no. While in similar to Magic, there's like, oh no, you need to have X amount of lands for you to mathematically be in a position to not be horrendously screwed on your opening hands. And then sometimes luck isn't even in your favor anyway, but it's kind of like I do wonder if there is a similar kind of like, no, you do need this amount of econ at minimum, otherwise you will have a bad time. Because I thought I got it up there with the right amount of money, but most matches I've played so far, I've had econ issues in early game, except for one match against Netscape, where I was essentially mana flooded. I pulled nothing but econ and no breakers.
No.
And no teeters, just money.
Well, that's like I discovered after our first game of the entire tournament that there was a card in my deck that just absolutely doesn't do anything for me. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it was one of the first cards that I threw away in our match that basically I have to have run all 3 of your central servers.
Yeah,
for it to do anything.
big criminal card.
And which is weird because it's a shaper card. It's thematically supposed to go along with the endurance deck. And I just have never been in a position where I could possibly get it to work. And so it's just became a trash card for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I've seen, there is somebody who I've seen use it once. It might have been Bjorn, it might have been Navi, one of the 2. But they were just in a position. It's one of those cards that exists in like if the corp is having a really floundering early turn and you get to play that early, you can do silly things. But otherwise, if it's like turn 5 where there's already some stuff on the field, unfortunately, it no longer becomes viable. But the fact that they felt emboldened to put it in their deck anyway, I guess says a lot about how powerful it is.
Much better big brain strats than me, unfortunately.
For sure. I do not have the capacity. Speaking of the capacity for big brain strats, we're going to go take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to combine our big brains together.
Yes.
And co-op play through our second session of Floppy Nights. We last time we played, we unlocked a new deck. We essentially unlocked a black-red deck. So we're going to have some fun working our way through that. But we'll see you all in 5, everybody. Be back soon.
Bye.